Right now we're featuring Striped Celluloid, a popular style from the late 1930s through the 60s and even into the early 70s. Germane to this group were the previous two we featured in the 9 series, which were Ice Cube and Wheat Straw, because you'll come across a lot of these three distinct styles of celluloid: Ice Cube, Wheat Straw, and Tiger Stripe. And there are many other styles, of course, but few that you'll find in as many numbers as this, and with such a distinct appearance to it. Now on the board there's 50 out of 85 picks from the collection. Here's the remainder. I didn't want to feature a lot of duplication this time. The origins of these picks are at least 2 and probably 3. There are 25 distinct shapes and various shadings and color of the Tiger Stripe. Here in the middle is typical Tiger Stripe, and it's obvious why we call it Tiger Stripe, because some of these picks just appear to have the stripes of a tiger. Now many of them don't, especially when they start blending, you can't even tell it's a Tiger Stripe, but there's something about the color and character that even two picks like this, or this one here, that doesn't have the Tiger Stripe, you know by the color and association of shapes that they belong to the group also. Now the ones I think that are made by D'Andrea are these right here. They all match D'Andrea shapes, pretty much dead on. However, the mystery begins to deepen. These were D'Andrea shapes, this one, and this one. This one from their earlier catalog, and of course these are D'Andreas from the first catalog in the 1920s. None of these, I believe, were made in the 20s. They continue to use this shape from the 20s to at least 1960. So these are D'Andrea. Probably these are D'Andrea. There's a few more in here that might be D'Andrea, but it starts getting a little different now. When we go over to these corrugated picks, we take a look, we see these white ones in here. Now, the object of our focus is Tiger Stripe, but I had to include these white ones because they share a characteristic with some of these Tiger Stripes that's important to note and to combine together to know they're from the same maker. And here's how the reasoning goes. This particular pick happens to be a cup grip. Cup grips, when they were sold in the U.S. in the 1930s, they came from Germany. And all my German cup grips have the same design and pattern and circularity to the grip as that one does. So by association of this shape with that shape, we see all these corrugated picks having the same type of corrugation, and we could say safely this is German. Now, the other possibility was some unknown American maker did make a cup grip, but that is highly, highly unlikely. Few more German picks here. This one here, it looks like a D'Andrea 360, stout like an aircraft carrier, but it has a different slant on the shoulders and not quite as long as a D'Andrea. Going up to this group at the upper left, again, I don't think they were German made. This is all granulated cork, 3 different types of granulated cork at that, and I'll show it to you. The one on the left is a very heavy granulated cork. The one in the middle, finer, and the one on the end, very fine. D'Andrea never used none of that. And in fact, I think these were made by our Chicago area manufacturer. Chicago area manufacturer for these, most likely these as well, different type of corrugation than I mentioned the German one said. And let's take a look at it. On the right, you see that block style. On the left, that German style. So we have D'Andrea, we have the Chicago folks making Tiger Stripe. In addition, Maxwell picks and Bruno picks were also made on Tiger Stripe in great numbers, and I'm not likely to believe that they would have them made by a German manufacturer. So D'Andrea mixed here, perhaps D'Andrea there, certainly not D'Andrea in that shape. That is a German shape there. Although similar to one of the D'Andrea shapes, the 368.5, doesn't quite fit the mark. And even this small 358.5 here is different than the kind that D'Andrea produced. But also letting us know multiple manufacturers here. When we take a look at these two Trapezoids, they're very similar, but when we do, again, the size test, we see one comes up sufficiently larger than the other, and I believe the larger one here is the DeAndrea, and the smaller one, either the German or the Chicago maker. Obviously, the nice feature about these picks are the tagger stripes, and I'm going to grab a few more out of here at the side so you could see those distinct tagger stripes right there. So if I didn't mention it, there are 25 distinct shapes here. That's mind-boggling. I mean, what do you have today? Half a dozen, right? You know, maybe some permutations thereof, but nothing like we saw during the Golden Age, and even after that, 20 years later into the 50s and 60s. So I hope you enjoyed the video. A lot of fun doing this kind of stuff. And if you find rare picks and you want to trade, give me a jingle. We'll set up a good trade. Thanks. Joe, play more picks. Findpick7 at yahoo.com. Take care.